Hey everybody, how you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? Welcome to another Soul Drops. And you know what? I was sitting outside and I was enjoying this sprout salad. I make a beautiful sprout salad I prepare this whole weekly thing, and every day and so I was sitting outside enjoying this, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do another soul drop. I have, I think, an ant crawling up my face. Yep, I do. Because I was outside, I have ants all over me. That's living in Florida. But, anyways, so welcome to today's soul drop. You know, I have been going through a big transformation the last week and a half, especially the last couple of days. Happy full moon, by the way. If I went to go to the Lake Worth drum circle last night, and and as soon as I got in the car and I started driving, all this energy just decided it's time to do an upgrade right now. Not before I went and started driving, not after I went or during, it decided to do it as I started driving. And if you guys are familiar with 5D ascension symptoms, well, especially big upgrades that are changing, because like about a week ago, I was told that, hey, Raina, you are going to be channeling a different frequency code to the consciousness of this planet. You have to be able to handle this. We need to upgrade you and be able to make sure that your current new energy can handle that. And so I said, okay, fine. And so I've been on this journey, this week-long journey of just, but yesterday, man, it hit me hard. My heart was going crazy. Like, I felt so sick. I was dizzy. I couldn't see. I couldn't focus. I was trying to drive the car. I felt dizzy. I felt like I was going to pass out. And I pulled over a few times, and I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, right now at this moment, like, it has to download at this moment. So if you guys have ever had these 5D symptoms, you understand what's going on. And so I finally pushed myself to the drum circle. And as I got to the drum circle on the beach, it was beautiful, people. It had the big full moon coming off Lake Worth Beach, all the people drumming and dancing. And I actually wanted to dance. I really did, but I couldn't because my heart rate and my blood pressure was going up and down. One minute it felt like it was going to come out of my chest and I was going to pass out. The next minute it felt low. I couldn't breathe. I was having all the symptoms, and I was thinking, well, is this like a heart issue? But every time I get my heart checked out, perfect. They say I have a heart and of like a 15-year-old girl. Like, it's just that, that strong. And so I'm just trying to ride it out. And as I'm sitting there, I can feel myself, in between both dimensions. And I can feel myself here witnessing the third dimension. And I could feel myself pulling back into the fifth dimension where I'm observing everything and everything is just happening and I'm not really there. And it's kind of a cool feeling, but at the same time, as your body's going through this huge adjustment and it does feel like you're dying, it was it was very challenging for me. So I actually called Caleb and I was like, Caleb, I need to talk to you, man, on the ride home. I need you to walk me through this. Just like talk to me, just keep me distracted because I'm having a really hard time even walking back to the car. But what I noticed that when I was there, and I've noticed a lot of people popping up lately, and I want to talk to you about this because yes, as we're going into a new consciousness of the planet, as we're evolving, I think it's really helpful for us to understand and let go of certain ideas. And one of them, I see a lot of healers talking about negative energy, and they're releasing negative energy and they're removing negative energy. And guys know I'm doing my quotes because I love my quotes, and that's just me. If you understand if you're a healer and you call yourself a healer and you're charging people for healing and you're going around saying that you're putting positive energy and taking out negative energy, you're removing negative blocks. Let me tell you, people, and I mean this with the most compassion, I mean this with the most, sincerity and that, but as you guys know, I'm a very blunt, very forward. That's my job as a fifth dimensional spirit guide, is just to be blunt. I'm not a sugarcoater, never have been, never will. I work in the shadows, I work in the feminine aspect, and so that's my job. But for all you healers out there, if you're still attached to this idea that there's positive as in good and free-flowing energy and negative as in bad and stagnant, this is a very wrong concept and a very misdated concept. That's similar to believing that the world is flat versus the world is round. And so we have to update our systems. We have to go through these systems and update them and kind of be able to see where, where we're at. And so I'm speaking to both the healers and I'm speaking to the people who go to get healing. First of all, to the people that go to get healing, if you have somebody that you're going to and they say that they're removing negative energy, and putting positive, they don't know what they're doing and they don't know what they're talking about. So when as a healer, what I put this to is that if I'm going to go to a doctor and they don't understand certain procedures, certain ideas, then I'm not going to use them as my doctor. If they haven't fully, like if they only went to like a year of school and they're supposed to go to 7 years or whatever, and they're going to go out and call themselves doctors and try to heal people, which there are people that do that. That's the same thing as most healers. Most people get a certificate during the weekend and then they go out calling themselves a Reiki master, touch therapy master, light master, whatever the masters, and they don't actually know what they're doing. Now, I love ASMR and I love and I want to promote people that are, and I get it, we're all at our certain point of our evolution, but this is the time in our evolution that we must adjust and we must advance our way of thinking. So let me tell you that and again, if you watch this podcast, you know that there's no such thing as negative as in bad energy and positive as in good energy. Remember that those energies are dualistic and they flow and they create unity. They help us perceive duality and they flow within us. And so what we perceive as negative energy or stagnant energy is really limitation energy. And what I mean by limitation energy is that based on our own limited perceptions or our own limited evolution, where we're at in our evolution, we can only perceive so much. And most of us go around accepting what the rest of society has told us without any common knowledge or research whatsoever. We read it in a bunch of books, we hear about it, and so we just accept, well, hey, there's negative energy out there. Oh, that person's acting negatively. I want to be positive. But this is an imbalance. So as a healer, one of my biggest successes, people used to come to me all the time and have great success with me. And they're like, Raina, I used to go to healers for years. And within a few sessions, things have changed. And they're like, well, and that's because you have to be able to understand frequency. Now, as a guide and as someone who does frequency and carries the frequency code of the universe and transmits it here and the planet, and that frequency must be understood. So I implore to you, you healers, that if you're listening to this, please don't take this as an attack. Please take this as someone trying to teach you how to be a stronger, more conscious, and a quote unquote better healer. And that because if we actually understand that we're not pulling, because the negative aspect is just as important as the positive aspect. Remember, in a circle, especially if you take the yin yang, you have the white part, which is the positive aspect, the masculine aspect. You have the dark part, the black part, which is the negative, which is the feminine. Neither are good or bad. They're just two forces propelled by each other, using each other and feeding off each other to complete wholeness. And that's what we must understand. So I know I only got a minute left and I really want to keep these at 10 minutes, but I really hope that you guys understand this, because again, this is not a personal attack. This is said to those few that are actually, I hope that are open enough, but I really want you guys to understand it. If you go to any healer and they're like, oh, there's negative energy and I'm a worker of negative energy, don't go to them, because they don't understand what they're doing and they can't help you. They can make you feel good temporarily because they're pushing energy a little bit, but it's going to be a very limited energy. And even because they don't understand what they're doing, they might force their energy or their problems or anything into you, and that's not healing. So, all right, guys, I know I got 30 seconds, but please, I implore you just to kind of think about this for you healers. I know some of you may take this, as a target, but it's not meant to be that. Let's open our mind, expand our consciousness, and evolve, people, because that's what we're here for. All right, guys, my time is up, and I'm keeping this under 10 minutes. I promised you. So, all right, guys, I will catch you at the next Soul Drop.